All right, Clay, here's your video. You're looking really good, but there are a few little things that we can clean up to make it even more better and all that good stuff. So let's watch it. Normal motion for a few swings, and then we'll break it down. So here we go. Clean. Back in. Close. No tight. Loosen your seat. Fast. Relax up one side. Stay with it. Back up. One more. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty dang good, especially age wise and all that stuff. You've come a long way. You look great, but you see that you dive towards the plate still some, and there's a reason for that. So let's break it down. Let's see where you're at when you're actually getting the foot off the ground. You're close, but I don't think you're quite there. And boy, you're real close. All right, so look at the top. See, when you got to the top of your leg kick, boom, that's when you got loaded completely. So when you got loaded completely, which is the perfect spot for you, only thing I want to see a little better is relaxation right there. But this is what we should look like when you pick up. You're close. Look where you're at. You're right there. So I'm talking about the hip. So you're there when you pick up with your hip. Now watch where your hip gets. Ooh, see how it got in there more? Ooh, that's in it. Yep, right there. That's when you're in it. And you can see, that's what we talk about, the rubber band thing. You're stretched out completely there. Tall backside, can't go back anymore. That's when the foot would come up. So you're on the ground right now, about to come up in that position. That, my friend, is going to make a difference in the world. That's what nobody ever talks about with us, is hitting. And that's the whole key to staying back. Now, all the other stuff we've talked about over years has got you where you're at. But now this is the final little thing that we got to get where we're consistent with, so we're dominating in games and not having bad slumps. All right, so that's your loaded position. So again, so since you're not completely loaded when you pick up, you get that little boom. That's what makes us jump, leak. You dive just a hair. And by diving just a hair, it gets us on that ball before we want to. So then that's when the front side starts cheating and leaking open. This gets a little longer and arm barred because of the leak. The hip now and the back knee is collapsed just a hair. So we're losing power there. Now, swing-wise, you're there, brother. You didn't grip till you ripped, so you got good separation with your hands right there. Now, again, I'm always going to yell at you about being looser, and relaxed to get them hands to go even faster. But boy, that's a good looking swing. I really do think. Let's go to the next swing. I think relaxing that back elbow a little bit. I don't mind it up. I just want it more relaxed, so it doesn't have it bats where it takes over. I'm not worried about your MVP. It's about games. All right, so again, watch when you work a little bit. So you pick that foot up, and you're clean, man. But that little gets you to leap forward and dive. That's what I was doing at the end of my career and could not figure out why I was doing that. And that was it. It is just, I thought I was in it and I was quite just wasn't there. And so I get that look. And that's what kind of disconnects us from the rhythm. So like we're always talking about, don't break your rhythm, don't break your rhythm. Well, that little thing, let's go back to that. Actually, let's just go to the next one. But that little thing that you do right there, by you getting in that hip, that locked in hip right now, that's what creates all of us just, and the good ones like yourself, we can get away with it a lot. And in high school, you get away with it for 4 years, bro. And you'll be a damn good high school baseball player. But you can dominate. You can definitely dominate. And we're talking about just cleaning up a few things and positioning. So we're talking about not changing anything here, Clay. The only thing I'd like to change on you is maybe relax that a little bit. But everything else, where your hands are, where your core is, everything looks great. Is just, we got to get that hip there before you pick up. And that's going to create it so when you come back down, instead of that little boop, boop, you would come back down. Let me clear all that. So if we kick from here, and look how close you are. I mean, you're right there. Just get in that right there, then pick up. So then when you come back down, we're gonna look more like that. Be back a little bit more because we didn't leak. But that's what the front leg should look like. Now, if your front foot is slightly leaked open, and I'm good with that. I'm not worried about the foot. It's the knee and the front hip and the front shoulder that we're always trying to keep on that center field as long as we can. And by you leaking and jumping just a hair, it's almost damn near impossible to stay as close as you want to be. And again, when we land in this position, you'll have all the power in the world, man. All right, let's watch it again. Swing wise, though, I'm loving it. And again, positioning wise, if we're in a better position when you land, you don't get to your, watch how you got to your heel early in your front foot. So instead of getting through that ball, you got there too early because of the positioning. Now, if you're normal in your launch position and take that same swing, we don't have to worry. So I don't even know why I'm talking about it because we don't have to worry about that. We got to get you in better position. That's it. All right. Let's watch this next one without breaking it down. So again, you're in good position there. You're almost there, and it just leaks you a little bit. That little leak, man, that's it. That's what I've been bitching about on you. And a lot of times when I'm in front of y'all throwing, I will be talking about, hey, your front shoulder's going back or your stomach's fighting back. But I maybe should have been saying, hey, your hip's fighting to get there. So it's the back hip, and you see it, I hope. Let's break this one down. Right there. So by us getting that little thing right there that makes you jump instead of come back down. Yeah, and we are going to create some ground here, but it shouldn't be that boop disconnect right there of your rhythm. That's what kills our rhythm, and so we're not as fluid as we could be. But if you get there when you kick, now kick, I guarantee that rhythm's better, and we come back down in a better position, not on top of that plate. So again, what I'm wanting to see is you, let's make sure I'm not confusing you. That's where you're loaded with your hip. So then if you pick up from here, so let's say your foot's on the ground right now and you pick up, watch how clean. Now all we have to do is get to a balance, but you can't get to the balance because you're fighting to get that hip, and that's what creates that compared to boom, being there on that balance. And so then again, what all this will help, it'll help the arm barring, it will help the openness. That's what I'm talking about, and it's going to give us more power, and it's going to give us better time and ability. So we're talking about a matter of what, centimeter or two, to get that more loaded positions before you kick. And today we'll talk about and reinforce it, but I just wanted you to get your eyes on that because I'm going to show you how close, because I'm going to make sure you understand you are close to being perfect, man. And right now you're great. You're doing great. So I'm not worried about you at all, but there is room for improvement. So you're not having those games where you're popping up to the infield. That's what that creates, man. I used to do the same thing. I'd leak right there, ball get on me before I wanted it. And then I end up popping up to the third baseman. You probably end up popping to the first baseman. It happens. But I feel like now with you seeing this, your adjustment's going to be so easy because you know what it is now. All right, I think that was the last swing. All right, I want you to go back to that last swing just to look at it with yourself. No breaking it down. So again, stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Now kick. But you're close. That's good. All right, let me break that down one more time for you. Make sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. So stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. That's where that hip. Oh, right there. You see the change where it really gets slotted in there. Boom. That's where your hip wants to be. So that's what we need to look like. And that hip right there, then we pick up and you do everything exactly like you do. You don't have to change a thing, but you're going to come down in front of or behind the ball better. Your arm bar is going to get better. Your close by landing in it and close is going to be easier. All that stuff's going to be easier by one little change, and that's not a change, that's positioning. All right, man. So again, here is your fully loaded position right there. Right there. So start kicking from there. We land in better positions and start driving that ball so much better. And that will take the dive away. I hope that happens today. So, all right, man. Hope you get to see this. Thanks.